All right, are you ready to go? Okay. I want to welcome everyone to the second annual demo day for Startup UCLA. It's been a fantastic summer, and we had a fantastic rehearsal event last night with a pretty large crowd. So having attended the talks last night, I think you're in for a real treat today. I just want to say, first of all, I want to thank the people who've made this event possible. First of all, Dean Durante, who got this whole program started in the first place, Dean of Social Sciences. A little closer to the action, Robert Jadon, who will be your host for the event today. Robert directs our Summer Accelerator and has since the very beginning. And there's just no way we would have been able to do the program without him. A couple of other people who've helped out, Professor Tim Groeling, Chair of Communication Studies in Startup UCLA from the very beginning. And then also Deanna Evans, who's standing at the back, who has managed every single detail for getting this event together, and in fact, just every single detail for getting Startup UCLA to function like a smooth organization. So with that, I want to say thank you very much for coming. Welcome, and I'm going to turn the floor over to Robert Jadon. Thank you, Robert.
All right, everyone. Well, welcome. We're really excited. This is a culmination of 10 weeks of hard work by these teams. And as you heard a little bit of an overview there from Professor Jim Stigler, he and along with Professor Tim Groeling were the founders and the architects of the Startup UCLA program, which encompasses the Accelerator as well as all of the education and events that are associated with it. So I just wanted to give them a thank you because without them we wouldn't be here. So. And I also wanted to give my own personal thank you to Deanna Evans, who is the Startup UCLA manager, who's done an incredible job this summer, really helped us out, and also to Dating Song, who's been our Startup UCLA summer associate, and really brought the program up to another level this summer. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started with a little bit here background for you guys, and we'll make sure it's short because I know you're really here to see the teams. But we wanted to give you a little bit of background about the program itself and some of the basics for why we're here today. And a few things have changed over the last couple of years for entrepreneurship. So you'll notice a couple trends about the companies here today. The first one is that they all have some kind of software component involved with them. The second one is that they all have UCLA people involved with them that have at least half of the founders' equity in the company, and they also have some technical team members on board. But what's enabled this 10-week boot camp of sorts to really exist is that there's been some pretty big changes in the marketplace. The first one being that open source software has enabled great changes and things to be deployed rapidly, sort of on the shoulders of what others have done. The other thing is cloud computing. So two of our sponsors for the summer program include Amazon Web Services and Joyent. And that really gives these companies the ability to scale and do things for very low cost up front, but then get it to huge proportions. So you think of companies like Netflix use Amazon Web Services. Then you have other trends like just broadband becoming completely prolific at this point, and then mobile phones, which allow you 24/7 access to people. And then you have a couple of large platforms which really essentially allow you to reach billions of people in very unique ways. So does anyone recognize this face? No? So it's Evan Spiegel. He's the co-founder of Snapchat. I was joking that I used to have Mark Zuckerberg in here, but he started looking a little old. So Evan is 24. Their company's based in Venice, and he visited us over the summer. And I think it's reflective of the changing face of entrepreneurship that what was not possible for people years ago, these companies can get started with very young founders. And that's certainly something we support here in the program. And it's sort of a sea change that's also going on right now. But why UCLA? Why did we decide to get this program started here? Well, there's a couple of great factors that go into it. First is that you have a great mix of talent here on campus. So you have people coming from a lot of different angles. You've got very creative people. You've got incredible technical minds, great designers, and it's just this wonderful place to pull from and to create companies. The other thing is that you have a wonderful set of technology alumni who've created all kinds of wonderful things and have been a great resource for us to rely upon, and we've also been a great way to sort of galvanize them and bring them back to campus. The other thing is that Los Angeles is a really up-and-coming entrepreneurial city. So the last 5 to 7 years have seen a great change in what's been going on here. And we feel like UCLA can be a real catalyst for that change. So with all that in mind, we launched the Summer Accelerator and the Startup UCLA program last year. So this is our second class. We did it like its own startup. We grabbed a room. We went inside and built it out. We threw our teams in there with IKEA furniture, and there we go. So we've made some great progress and built a very robust program. It's been a combination of people inside the university. As Professor Stigler mentioned, the college, or the Division of Social Sciences was our first main supporter, and without them we wouldn't be here today. We've also had support from the humanities, the Price Center for Entrepreneurship, as well as the Vice Chancellor for Research. We also have a number of outside groups who have come in to support the program, including PwC, Manat, who's been our legal sponsor and has done a fantastic job. Lightspeed Venture Partners came in, who's a venture capital firm based up in Silicon Valley. And really it's this whole thing of a lot of different resources coming together. We joke that there's this idea that it takes a village to raise a child, and we think that the combination of internal partners, external partners, alumni, even people currently on campus is really what makes this program successful. So in terms of mentors and partners, we've tapped into the LA ecosystem and reached out. We've actually visited all the local accelerators nearby. We've been in touch with the angel groups. But really what it comes down to, I think, is that the people are what make the program. And so we have a great set of different resources who come by, really world-class mentors in a variety of different areas. And there's really 3 main categories for that. The first is a set of what we call our entrepreneur or investor talks. And that's where we get to hear from people, kind of tell their success stories and everything that went into that along the way. So on the left-hand side, you have Evan from Snapchat, along with Barry Eggers from Lightspeed Venture Partners, coming in and talking to one of our teams. On the right side, you have Brian Lee, a UCLA grad 2 times over, coming in and sharing his experiences about LegalZoom as well as other companies. We also have our skill series, which is designed to help first-time and student entrepreneurs. So just hearing success stories isn't enough. Most of the people who are getting these companies going, they haven't been out in the field for 10 years, and now suddenly they're going to take that domain expertise and leverage it. So we wanted to complement these great talks by successful entrepreneurs and investors with direct skills that we felt could translate into the companies. So think about your company getting incorporated, taking in outside funding, how to do customer acquisition, how to run agile in your workplace, things of those natures that we really felt like would add value to the teams themselves. We also have people who just come in and do drop-in visits. Here we have people like Richard Wolpert on the top left, who's on our advisory board, John Lau on the bottom there, Amazon Web Services on the right, and literally just going team by team and sharing their advice and giving them that great feedback on the spot. So, like every entrepreneurial group, we wanted to push the limits, and so we wanted to evolve the program this summer. And what we decided to do was to do a trip up to Silicon Valley, where the teams were able to go and get exposed to a couple of different venture capital firms, as well as the UCLA Venture Capital Fund, which has a number of entrepreneurs up there. So we had great support. There's people in the audience today who contributed to this project to meet our goal, and we made it. We jumped in a bus at 7:30 on a Tuesday, drove straight up, and started pitching right when we got there, essentially. So these are some of the pictures of the activities we were doing up there. On the bottom right was actually our first event, which was with the UCLA Venture Capital Fund at Plug and Play Tech. We visited Lightspeed Venture Partners, DFJ, Andreessen Horowitz, and we also went into the city to meet with entrepreneurs. And it was a great 2-night trip that really gave the teams fantastic exposure and also sort of exposed the group up there to LA Tech and what UCLA is doing. So we thought it was sort of a 2-way street in that regard. So with that, I'm really excited that you guys have made it out here today, and I think you're really going to enjoy the pitches. So we have 10 teams presenting. They're from all different parts of campus. You'll see undergrad, you'll see graduate, from all different spaces and verticals. And there's no Q&A, so it'll just go straight through, and they don't do financial asks. So what you want to do is connect with them afterwards at their tables and booths, and we'll go ahead and jump into our first one right now.
Thanks for coming today. So who here likes wine? Show of hands. It's a lot of hands. And who here has ever bought a bottle of wine that you really didn't love? I know I have. I was trying to learn more about wine, spending a lot of money, but for every 5 bottles I bought, I maybe only loved one of them. And that was the impetus behind me starting Vinelust, a revolutionary wine subscription service that actually understands consumer preferences using an algorithm and matches consumers to wines they love on a consistent basis. We're targeting the millennial demographic, urban professionals aged 25 to 40 that are changing the face of the wine industry. And why is that? Well, it's because they're drinking more wine and better wine at a younger age than any generation has before. Wine encompasses a greater percentage of their alcohol spend, and we found that this demographic loves experimenting with different brands, varietals, and producers in a way that no generation has before. But they're pretty frustrated with the common methods that they use to find and explore new wines. 91% of millennials just don't have enough time to research wine and don't know enough about it to make informed decisions. There's too many wines to choose from, with over 15,000 SKUs in the marketplace, and the methods that they use to choose or find new wine are pretty arbitrary. Asking friends for recommendations, asking that guy at the store what his favorite bottle is, or using subjective wine ratings, all of which are hit or miss. So we created Vinelust to help solve this frustration. We're a wine e-commerce subscription site, and you get 2 bottles a month for $49.99. But they're catered to your preferences so that you get wines that are almost risk-free to give a try. You come to our site, you take a survey, and we input that information into an algorithm that actually understands your taste preferences. We then have expert curators from all around the world that find wines to meet your palate, and we send you 2 bottles a month that generally retail for $30 in stores if you can find them. And I say if you can find them because we're trying to concentrate on those small, artisan, off-the-beaten-path producers that you may not think to pick up if you see them in the store, or they may not be readily available at your local retailer. Once you get your package, you actually get a box that contains tasting notes that tell you more about the producer and the wine itself, a paired recipe, and the ability to go back on your profile and rate the wine for an even more curated package going forward. The Vinelust team consists of myself. My name is Pallavi Patil. I'm the founder and CEO and have previous brand management experience working at one of the largest wine producers in the country and 5 years of turnaround experience working at credit-distressed hedge funds. We have 2 sommeliers on our team, Bobby Conroy and Chris Gaither. They work at Michelin star restaurants in San Francisco, and they were just named Wine & Spirits Magazine's Best New Sommeliers of the Year 2012. Now, every night, Bobby and Chris go into restaurants, ask their customers questions, and find them the perfect bottle. And we really wanted to integrate that sommelier mindset into our algorithm. So we really delved into what are the factors that really decide whether an average consumer likes or dislikes a wine. And you see those factors in front of you. These are the backbone of our algorithm. In focus groups, we found that we are 3 times more accurate in understanding a consumer's taste preferences and matching them with the wine they love over the current methodologies they may be using now. So you might be asking, what are the types of questions that we're asking on our survey? So for example, we ask when and where they're drinking wine. Do you drink wine more as a cocktail, or do you love accompanying wine with the perfect food? Another question pertains to the types of flavors and aromas that you like in the real world, and how the flavors that you might like in wine going forward. Once you answer our 7 questions, you get a Vinelust match. We tell you the red and white wine that we think you'd enjoy, the flavor profiles that they embody, and we tell you and give you an example of a Vinelust wine that we would send you so you can become a member and start getting wines that you love. In terms of operation, we have a phased growth strategy. Now, the wine industry is highly regulated in terms of selling and shipping wine. So in phase 1, we partnered with a retailer in Pasadena in order to get our beta product out to customers and get feedback. We're working on getting our Type 85 license so that we can ship outside of California and into 15 different states. This is our website. We've been up and running for 6 months, sending product to customers that are really excited about our offering. This is a picture of one of our shipments, and we're getting a lot of blogger press because they're really excited about the revolutionary way in which our service can help people find new wines that they love. Most importantly, our customers are really happy with our product. They're going back online and rating the wine we're sending extremely highly. The average rating for a wine we're sending is 4.4 out of 5. And they're really excited to get the packages every month, as evidenced by one of our customers sending us a picture of her VineList box arriving in the mail. So we hope you go to www.vinelust.com, take our quick survey, find your VineLust match, and of course, become a member if you're interested. VineLust is starting a wine revolution. We hope you join us and start enjoying wines you'll love.
These days, people are connecting everything to the internet, whether it be their front door so they can unlock their front door straight from their smartphone, or an internet-connected fork that tracks how fast you eat and allows you to lose weight. And even thermostats that learn from your lifestyle and automatically adjust your AC and heating to fit your energy needs and to save you money. In fact, by 2015, 10 billion of these devices will be connected to the internet. This is possible due to the open hardware revolution. Things such as Arduino and Raspberry Pi, which are tiny microcomputers, allow developers and researchers to create internet-connected devices, make this possible. And best of all, these things cost less than $30. However, when you're building an internet-connected device, there's a few issues. For example, how do you handle security? You wouldn't want a hacker to turn on your stove while you're away from home. That could potentially cause a fire. And how do you connect devices not directly connected to the internet? For example, Bluetooth sensors or biosensors. And how do you organize and manage this massive amounts of data and easily find trends within the collected data? That's why we created Volle. Volle is a cloud services platform for microcomputers. We provide a rock-solid bank-grade security connection for each node that is connected to our service. This means you can have added privacy controls, and all data is encrypted. We also provide mesh networking, which allows sensors, Bluetooth sensors, and other devices not directly connected to the internet to still take advantage of our service. And we provide data visualization and analysis tools that make it easy to find trends within the collected data. And best of all, Volle is platform independent. We have support for Arduino, Raspberry Pi, iOS, Android, and the web. Our business model is freemium. We have a free developer plan that allows developers and researchers to connect up to 5 devices for free. We also provide premium subscriptions for power users and commercial vendors, which includes added features such as HIPAA compliance. Our initial target market is developers and researchers, a $300 million market. These early adopters can fully utilize our service, and take advantage of our features. Competitors in this space, such as Xively and OpenSense, are cumbersome to use, don't provide good security, and lack privacy controls. Volle solves all of these issues in a nice, easy-to-use package. Our team consists of 3 engineers, including myself. I'm Shahan Khan, the CEO and co-founder of Volle. My background experience includes cloud services and mobile and app development. Jeffrey Wang, my fellow co-founder, is also an electrical engineer. He brings software development and embedded systems programming experience. And Danny Lee, our third co-founder, brings electrical engineering experience along with hardware design and circuit design. Currently, we're getting ready to launch our beta this month for developers and researchers to get started immediately. And by January 2014, we aim to work with small and medium device manufacturers so everybody can benefit from Volle technology. Currently, we are looking for business advisors, funding, and a graphics designer. Volle, making the Internet of Things simple, scalable, and reliable.
My girlfriend loves to shop. Let's be honest, she really loves to shop. And when she goes shopping, she often takes pictures of products and items that she likes. She then shares those products and items with her mom and her girlfriends because she wants to gauge their opinion on whether she should execute that purchase. But like most people, she doesn't always buy then and there. What she does is she goes home with her iPhone full of pictures, and she debates with herself whether she should go back to the mall and execute that purchase. And fortunately, until today, most people organize their shopping excursions in the same way, using clunky technology like the SMS on their phone or the camera roll. And sadly, most competitors in the marketplace stylize themselves as the digital versions of fashion magazines. And worse yet, they make their users share publicly. So what my team and I decided to do was build Selfe, which organizes shopping in a whole new way by allowing shoppers to take or upload pictures from their social networks or the camera roll on their phone, to then tag those pictures with product information and to share them with their friends so that they can get feedback. And finally, to store those looks in their very own digital closet and only share with the people that they choose to do so with. The underlying philosophy behind Selfe is that of intimate connections, because after all, no one knows you better than your family and friends when it comes to shopping. So it's no wonder that brands and retailers like American Apparel and Michael Kors have expressed interest. But it may also be because our monetization model is three-pronged. First, we built brand-specific notifications for brands and retailers on those looks that you've stored in your digital closet, should they fluctuate in price. As you can see behind me, it's an example of what we did for Gap. Second, if you're a first-time user, your WeFeed is going to be empty. So we've handed that over to brands and retailers for them to curate and show off things that they want to sell. And finally, the data that we'll be capturing from our users is immense because of those two behaviors I mentioned earlier. So whenever my girlfriend takes a picture, that's actually indicative of a behavior called consumer intent. And when she then shares those pictures, that behavior is indicative of consumer mindshare. Both behaviors are strongly predictive of an eventual purchase. So our target demographic are primarily women ranging in ages 24 to 55, who are both modern and armed with discretionary income, but need all the help they can get when it comes to organizing their shopping because they don't have that much time. Our initial go-to-market strategy will be localized in the LA area with a national rollout occurring on November 1st in order to engage with shoppers during their Black Friday and Christmas shopping. The timing for Selfe couldn't be better, and the reason is because of what technology is doing in shopping today. For example, last year alone, during Black Friday, you had e-commerce sales finally break the $1 billion threshold. The reason why is because people are going to brick and mortar locations and they're playing around with the physical product and then going online to actually execute that purchase. So the opportunity for Selfe is perfect because of our demographic target of women, like I mentioned before. 85% of all consumer decisions in this country are done by women. 75% of all households in this women, the woman is the 75% of all households in this country, the woman is the primary shopper. So I'm Jude, and along with my brother Andrew, who's also our lead engineer, we've built Selfe. We have 3 developers on the staff, 1 designer, and we've recently added John Lau to our advisory board. So what's next for Selfe? Well, we're proud to say last night we submitted to the Apple iOS store. We're still looking for advisors. We're currently in early discussions to raise our seed funding, and like most entrepreneurs, looking for a place to sleep. So make sure you download Selfe. After all, we make shopping a team sport. Thank you.
It has long been a desire of physicians to be able to see inside their patients, to have Superman's X-ray vision, if you will, but ideally without the risk of ionizing radiation from actual X-ray vision or the exorbitant costs of MRI. Increasingly, ultrasound imaging is used to directly guide a wide range of medical procedures. Compared to traditional methods of using anatomic-based landmarks, ultrasound provides real-time 3D guidance to the physician. However, it can be difficult, especially for less experienced physicians, to simultaneously visualize the surgical field while at the same time safely and effectively performing the desired procedure. In combination with physicians from the David Geffen School of Medicine, engineers at the Henry Samueli School of Engineering, and the UCLA Health System, we are developing Sonosspecs, a revolutionary augmented reality system for ultrasound-guided medical procedures. Sonosspecs combines the power of a hospital's existing interventional ultrasound equipment with a pair of hands-free 3D voice-activated glasses. We foresee Sonosspecs being a platform for a wide range of interventional ultrasound procedures. There are currently over 50 different procedures which can make use of ultrasound guidance. There's also a growing use of ultrasound guidance in the veterinary market and increasing use of ultrasound in the military and emergency medicine markets. Our initial target is a procedure known as central venous catheterization, or otherwise known as a placement of a central line. Over 5 million of these procedures are performed every year, with a documented complication rate of about 6 to 8%. While not all these complications are life or death, they do have a cost associated with them, which averages out to be about $1,200 per patient. So to put this in perspective and to save you guys the math, this winds up being $440 million spent a year on central line placement complications alone. Ultrasound guidance has demonstrated benefits. There's been good clinical data which shows that using ultrasound for placing these central lines has a higher rate of success and a lower incidence of complications. Currently, ultrasound guidance is considered to be the standard of care in better medical centers. So what this means is if you go to a better hospital, for example, UCLA, number 5 in the nation, it's expected that your doctor will use ultrasound to guide the procedure. However, traditional ultrasound guidance is not without its drawbacks. The ergonomics are very, very poor, and you're fundamentally seeing a 2D view of what is naturally 3D anatomy. Take, for example, this image. This is what a doctor would normally see on a distantly and awkwardly placed ultrasound machine. It's a flat slice of what really is a round or a cylindrical view of your vein. Doctors are really, really good because they can interpret these images, but you can do much better. Modern phased array ultrasound equipment is producing natural 3D imagery. We're just dumping it because we're using essentially a flat 2D screen to view those images. What Sonosspecs does, it allows the physician to operate in a much more efficient manner while providing more information. The physician would scan the field of view, and then using Sonosspecs, have a 3D representation accurately placed of the anatomy of interest, placed where it really should be on the patient. We're a core team of 5, 2 bioengineers, a mathematician, a computer scientist, and an interventional cardiologist. One of us is, well, quite frankly, is already a real doctor. The rest of us are working on finishing up our PhDs. We're also very lucky to be advised by a very strong team, which has experience in both medical device design, FDA regulatory affairs, clinical and surgical instruction, and ultrasound imaging. We're currently in the process of testing our alpha in the UCLA Simulation Center. This is allowing us to work through a lot of the initial issues with UI and UX and ergonomics before we give this to our clinical partners to try on other patients. While we don't have any direct competitors The IP landscape is a little bit complicated. However, in conjunction with the UCLA Office of Intellectual Property, we've identified a sweet spot lying in between augmented reality, image rendering, and needle guidance, which we're currently in the process of pursuing a patent application for, targeted right in the center. We really believe that improved medical visualization is the new wave of technology. Combining the power that we have with modern imaging with wearable, everyday hands-free computing, we think will really provide a benefit to both physicians and their patients. We are Sonosspecs, and we are helping physicians and doctors see their patients in a brand new way.
Hi, I'm Corey, and I'm going to be talking to you about spare time. Let's take a look at time. It's a limited resource that we all value highly because it determines how we spend our lives. And for just about everyone, the best kind of time is free time. It's in every schedule. It's on the weekends, at night after work, and in between your commitments during the day. We don't always use it to our fullest. Sometimes we sit around bored, just doing nothing. And frequently, we end up just doing the same thing over and over, like sitting on the couch watching TV. We at Spare Time believe that at their core, everyone wants to use their free time to do the things that they love in fresh and exciting ways. And they're looking for ways to do that. They search online, but the information on the internet is fragmented and rarely customized to your personal preferences. And sometimes they're asking their friends. But usually, your friends' ideas are as limited as your own. We knew there had to be a better way. So we created Spare Time, the mobile app for Android and iOS that answers the question, what should I do with my free time? With Spare Time, you'll get a list of activities that are local, customized to your personal preferences, and that will fit in your time schedule. Now let me talk about that last one a little bit more. Let's say you have 4 hours to spare. The Spare Time app will give you a list of activities that take less than 4 hours. Sounds pretty simple. But let's say you absolutely need to have a door-to-door experience of less than 4 hours, or you'll miss a meeting. You need to take into account the transportation time. So what Spare Time does is it uses your GPS location, the Google Maps API, to add on the transportation time, allowing it to eliminate events that would not actually fit in that time span, and leaving you only with events that you can definitely do given the amount of time you have. The reason we built this app is because we want to use it. And we believe our users, our typical users, look quite a bit like us. They're young, between the ages of 20 and 35, and probably college students. This group is active. They're looking for things to do with their friends. They also have discretionary income, and they're willing to spend it on leisure activities. Finally, they have time to spend, sometimes even during the week, between classes. When one of these users picks up our app, this is what they'll see. They'll be able to search by an amount of time, and they'll get a list of activities that will fit in that time, along with tags describing what that activity is. Choosing one will bring them to a details page, where they'll get a more in-depth description of the activity and a map leading them to the activity and giving them directions to it. Users who want more customization can go into the settings, where they'll be able to select which tags matter most to them, allowing their favorite activities to always be at the top of the list. Moving forward, we have several plans to enhance the app. We know that the idea is inherently social. People love to share the activities that they're doing with their friends and plan new ones in the future. So we're building in social connectivity so people will be able to share via Facebook and Twitter. Also, we want to fully crowdsource our database. We're starting out just seeding the LA area activities on our own, and we're also digging into some nationwide APIs to give us an early edge. But we know in the future, our data is going to be stronger and more scalable if our users are providing the activity data. Also, we want to add location-specific functionality, such as checking into events that you attend, and notifications that pop up as you walk by an activity you might not know about to let you know that it's there. Spare Time is launching for free and without ads. We have several means of monetizing in the future. The first is sponsored results, where businesses could pay to be near the top of our results list. And the other is percentage of sales. We might earn a percentage on a purely digital sale, such as selling tickets through our app, or we could earn a percentage on commission for referring people to a local activity. We're starting in the LA area. It's where we're from. It's what we know. There are a lot of activities and a strong social climate. But moving forward, we'll expand to other California cities, where we'll bring on local ambassadors who will seed the database there and market our brand. As crowdsourcing takes hold and our popularity grows, we'll be able to expand across the country. This is our team. My co-founder Michael Stange and I are both fourth-year UCLA engineering students. Michael specializes in marketing and business, while I have experience in web and application design. We encourage you to go to sparetimeapp.com and sign up for our newsletter to get the latest news about our Android and iOS apps coming soon. We know you love to have fun, but you don't always know how. That's why we created Spare Time. Thank you.
I was an 8th grade science teacher placed through Teach for America in South LA. This was half of the 170 students that I taught every single day. I wanted to be the best teacher that those students had ever had. But to do that, I needed to know what those students' individual strengths and weaknesses were on any single concept that I taught in a day. Only problem, that material does not usually exist until state test results come back. See, teachers already have student data to be able to do this. They give worksheets, quizzes, lab reports, projects, exit slips. But we don't have a way to be able to make sense of that data. And we're usually overwhelmed with stacks of paper in which the individual student needs are often lost and fall through the cracks. Students like Gabriel, who's a great student, works every day, comes to class, does every assignment I ask, yet in reality, I have no idea where he is, if he's actually doing well or falling behind. That's why we made smartestk12.com, a website for teachers to be able to transform their classrooms and make it so for the first time ever, every single student interaction provides personalized, real-time insights and analytics. The way it works is simple. Teachers either upload their document or borrow a shared document from other colleagues, then use our toolkit. The toolkit enables them to, in seconds, transform that document in a way that now their students can take it online using a variety of tools to now, in real time, give their teachers responses. Those responses are rich in student information and instantly gradable, manageable, and allow teachers to make actions to transform what it means to be in a classroom. Gabriel now can be identified with the traditional means, his grades on certain assignments, but we can dig deeper. By tagging resources to the individual document, we can look and see where he's really struggling and automatically know what he's already mastered. Then take actions like give differentiated assignments, make phone calls and messages home, do resources like Khan Academy and other free materials online, and make comments and feedback direct to the student, all in one simple, easy place. The timing is critical. If you haven't heard yet, there's a new national momentum called the Common Core State Standards. It's a teaching framework that requires 45 states and their 50 million students to use online, interactive lessons and testing. Basically, the United States is going digital in their education. The US has 8 million classroom iPads already. And that's just iPads. K-12 purchases are doubling annually. We work on any device, including laptops, Chromebooks, or mobile devices and phones. And we make money with a simple per-student license. Now, individuals like yourself or parents can sponsor their students and their teachers. Currently, we've had $17,000 in foundational sponsorships to get our pilot off the ground. And we even have college professors who have asked us to do a per-student license for their own classroom because it really makes the teaching more entertaining and gives you a lot more data back in return. So if you're interested, check out Smartest You, our college component. Additionally, we have an enterprise solution which allows large districts to be able to purchase the solution for their entire teacher base. We have an exclusive pilot. We're the only for-profit company enabled to do research on LAUSD's 47 iPad schools coming up. If you haven't heard yet, the Los Angeles Unified School District, the nation's second largest in the country, is buying an iPad for every single student. 640,000 iPads. I was a fellow for the superintendent and was able to secure a pretty nice agreement so that we can actually get on those devices when our product's ready. My name is Craig Jones. I'm the CEO. As you know, I've been in Teach for America, Educators for Excellence. I also sold privately in the education sector for Belkin Education. My CTO is Ross Fitzgerald. He has extreme database talent with over 10 years of industry expertise. Kevin McFarland is an MBA student here at Anderson and also has worked with nonprofits, foundations, and finance and operations. And Dave Tanqueray is our lead developer, who's actually got more than 2 million downloads already on the Android marketplace, as well as over 50 applications built just in general. We ask that you become a sponsor. If you can think of a school or a teacher that you know that uses devices, talk to us outside. We'll make sure that either you directly can help that school, or we'll go to the school and make sure that they get it. Additionally, we'd ask that you come to our table and learn about Smartest K-12. Transform your classroom, understand each student's needs, and get results that matter. Thank you.
What if you found yourself in the prime of your life, unable to speak, unable to move, unable to communicate? Good news, your doctor says you're going to make a full recovery in 2 years. For 1.8 million Americans, that's the reality today. And with 4 out of 10 Americans obese, which is the leading cause of strokes, which is the leading cause of rehabilitation, maybe not just entrepreneurs are getting younger, but stroke victims as well. And like me, I was in this place. My mom had the surgery, for brain surgery. But this will work for accidents or anyone who needs rehabilitation. And we struggled so hard to find resources. Because not only do you have to rehabilitate your cognition, you have to rehabilitate your body. And you're going to need the whole community. You're going to need the village to get better. Because in 2 years, well, rehabilitation isn't sexy, is it? Sometimes it's a lot of hard work, some crying, and you got to be positive, and you're going to need your whole family. And that is the genesis of Neuron Highway. I saw my mom struggle, not being able to speak. She's fine, by the way, she's home. And we thought, in 2009, how can we do it on a DVD? But 2 years later, with wireless, we can. And while we're thinking of using it on a tablet, we could do it on a cell phone, but cell phones get lost in the sheets, and they get washed. So the tablet's small enough that it's still agile, where a laptop might flip over the table. So the tablet's perfect. And we see it as giving the tablet to the patient from the moment of the incident. Now this is the main patient workspace. Here we have everything in one place. Cognition exercises, music trivia, because there's much significant research done on music being as a rehabilitative tool, both for heart surgery patients and, of course, for Alzheimer's. Anybody remember Gabby Gifford's story? Right, the astronaut? His wife, remember, she could sing before she could talk. So music trivia is good, and of course, you're going to need some exercise, and you need your family. So, of course, you can download on your cell phone, but what we find with this patient population, they need big buttons. They have trouble pushing. Also, they don't use passwords. We just use their name, and then we assign them a car and a highway as part of their password, making it so easy that any patient can use it. Now this page, we're just using a screenshot here, but if you were to go to our website, all these images move. They're GIFs. The reason why we're doing that is because your eye tracks novel stimulation and tries to make pairs. So even if they're not ready and they're still coming out of the medication, we can still provide them a way to start focusing their attention again. Our business model is a 2-year license, including the tablet for $1,000. That comes down to about $24 a month. How many of you guys are American citizens here? Lots? Okay, so you know the American Care Act, right? It's coming up, and we're going to be ending up paying for a lot more care. So this is a really low-cost way for us to provide better care now. Currently, you get about 12 visits at $250 a visit, and you're done. Your insurance company's done. So this way we can provide 2 years of connectivity to the patient and use RF interface, blood pressure cuffs. We can check for diabetes. We can do so much more because not everybody has great insurance like Gabby Giffords, right? Now the team, I'm Jonesy Hart. My background, I was an older student. I graduated in 2011. I was a professional musician for 25 years. You can see me on a show called Once in the Future City, Chicago. But my interest was also in cognition. As soon as I got here, I was fascinated by it, and I've spent a lot of time researching it. My mom's surgeon became my partner on this, Dr. Linda Liao. She's the vice chair of neurosurgery here at UCLA. Dr. Liao is an amazing surgeon, but she's an amazing person who believes that there's a way to always find your way back. Also, she's also the only scientist that I know of that has mapped music in 3 parts of your brain. Music creation, not just in 1 part, but in 3 parts, which means we can fix 1 part of your brain while the other part is healing. And our newest member of the team, and he's big because he has a huge personality, Richard Simmons has just come on and said, yes, I'd love to do some spots. And what we're doing is every day when they come into the space, before they get to that main patient stage, they have to watch an inspirational message. Today in hospitals, guess what? It's temps. You're not going to see the same nurse again. So by showing the same person and regular people on the site, we make a community for our rehabilitation patients so that they can get better and feel a sense of entitlement. Basically, we're gaming the rehabilitation. We're using cognition exercises that are scored in a way that's quantifiable. But we're also making it so that patients who can't do anything, that may be only able to move their eye, can feel like they're part and they're worthy and they're doing something self-directed, because you know when you can help yourself, you feel better. The iWriter is the API software that we can use, and we can actually control the software with this. It takes the shape of a letter with your eye, and it translates it into text so that everybody, it's completely accessible no matter how bad your injury might be. We're using social media to use it as a platform to have the patients' families download content, and that is the secret to the Neuron Highway. It's all about customizable content specifically to the patient, so that if they like heavy metal music, we're not going to make them listen to Puccini. And when you listen to things that you like and you connect with, you feel better. It soothes you. It entertains you. It's a full turnkey rehabilitation support. Now we're at the prototype. We're right here. We're about to start testing with our first prototype. But we're in the development stage, and we're looking for funding and developers to continue the vision, to bring this rehabilitation software. Now, we can do a million things with the money. We're at a public university, but this is our chance to really make a mark in a way that we can help millions of people have a better quality of life. And we want to roll out to market soon, not only because there's a tremendous need, but this is a huge $2 billion marketplace, brain plasticity. So it's a great place for commercialization and monetization, along with being able to do something really good. So we're your speedway to recovery, because you never know if it'll be your mom, your sister, or your brother who needs us. And we hope that you'll come by our table. Come see the message that Gabby Gifford's husband sent to her, and I challenge you not to tear up when you see it. When he says, "Tell my wife I love her," you'll know what that message means and how much it means to somebody who needs to hear it. Thank you.
I'm Steve Pally, and I'm going to tell you about a new website that helps high school students apply to college. It's called ApplyMap. Now, by way of introduction, ApplyMap co-founder Dan Lim and I are PhD candidates at UCLA. We're quantitative social scientists. My specialty is in statistics and computational modeling, and I also have experience managing startups. Dan has an engineering background, a master's in statistics from UCLA, and experience as a private college admissions consultant. Now, applying to college wasn't always a problem. In fact, until about 1970, UCLA was able to guarantee admission to every qualified California applicant. Even when I applied to college 15 years ago, a high school senior in California with decent grades and good test scores stood a pretty good chance of getting into UCLA or Berkeley. Welcome to 2013. This is definitely no longer the case, because this year, somewhere around 100,000 people from all over the world are applying to UCLA, competing for 6,000 spots in the incoming freshman class. There are no more guarantees. And that's why most high school seniors are now applying to 6 or 7 colleges at an absolute minimum. That number is only going to go up as more and more students apply and the colleges themselves get more selective. The problem is, it's not so easy to figure out which schools to apply to, given all the factors that a high school senior has to consider, such as cost of attending, academic reputation and prestige, and most importantly, the chances of getting in. Plus, most students don't get very much help with this increasingly complicated process. The average high school senior in this country receives less than 40 minutes of college applications advice from their guidance counselor. A lot of students don't receive any advice from their guidance counselor. ApplyMap solves this problem by generating personalized college admissions roadmaps. The student comes to our website, gives us a little bit of information about their academic performance, what they're looking for in a school, how many applications they want to fill out, and our algorithm returns a customized apply map that presents the best possible combination of schools for them to apply to. The apply map gives the user a range of schools, from dream schools all the way down to safety schools, and it tells you your chances of getting in school by school and tier by tier. It points out schools you may not have considered, and it saves you a lot of time and stress too. The market opportunity in this space is immense. More than 3 million people a year are now applying, increasingly from international markets where information on American colleges is scarce, and applications fees are constantly on the rise. Plus, the market for expert help with the college admissions process is exploding. A full quarter of applicants are now hiring outside consultants to help them get into college, and these consultants can charge a lot of money. So it's no surprise that we have a lot of competition online in this space. But we believe that ApplyMap has a number of notable advantages on the competition. Other sites analyze admissions chances just one school at a time. They're not easy or fast to use, and they rely on bad data. ApplyMap, by contrast, asks just a few simple questions and then returns a comprehensive, easy to understand application strategy based on superior data in minutes. We're currently in open beta, and our first 2 products are for high school students and guidance counselors. We're using a freemium revenue model for high school students, meaning that we give away the basic apply map for free and then sell premium features. We'll also be able to refer students to affiliated test prep services and the like. Guidance counselors, meanwhile, are our primary marketing strategy. There are 60,000 high school guidance counselors in the United States, and on average, each one is responsible for helping around 100 high school seniors apply to college every single year. Our counselor product will save these badly overworked professionals a lot of time by consolidating all of their students' apply maps into an online dashboard, and for an additional per student fee, by establishing online collaboration between the counselor, the student, and the parent. Our third product, which will be ready next year, is for college admissions departments. Admissions departments are very, very interested in predicting class yield and in maximizing marketing ROI. So interested, in fact, that they currently spend $300 million a year on consulting and research in this area. And we're going to be
ideally placed to break into this market with our proprietary database of applicants. Our last product, which will also be ready next year, is for graduate applicants. Business school and law school applications are even more expensive than undergraduate applications, up to $200 or $300 in some instances. So the value proposition for graduate students is very clear. We're currently looking for funding and advisors, particularly in the higher education space. So if you're interested, or if you'd like to see a live demo, please stop by our table during the reception or drop us an email. Once again, I'm Steve Pally, and we're ApplyMap. Apply smarter. Thank you.
Imagine you are in an art gallery and you see a piece of art that you love, but it's too expensive or not for sale, and you buy a printed replica of it. People do this all the time, but you end up with a print that doesn't capture the feeling of the art. A big reason for this is that the print doesn't have the texture of brushstrokes. It's just a flat image with no depth. But now there is a way to buy a perfect replica that captures the original texture, giving the full impression of the original work. We've developed the technology to replicate works of art using 3D modeling and raised printing. The 3D scanning application reconstructs 3D model from multiple photos. So you don't need any special equipment. You can use an ordinary camera with a resolution of approximately 20 megapixels. Then our software enables a high-quality 2D printer to produce 3D texture using multiple layers of ultraviolet inks. Prickel website enables customers to order these 3D replicas online. When the customer places an order, Prickel sends the data to one of our approved print companies, who then ship a replica to the customer. We anticipate work selling for approximately $200 with a production cost of $40. Prickel receives revenue from each order. Around the world, there are many examples of successful online stores that sell art replicas. I can tell you about companies with which I'm personally familiar. The first is the Hermitage Museum online store. They sell 36,000 replicas a year. The second is Erarta Contemporary Art Museum online store. They sell 15,000 a year. In the world, there are more than 1,000 online stores that sells art replica, and the global art replica market is estimated to be around $3.5 billion. We are going to promote our product to the market using Partners program. For art sellers, we are going to offer free trial scanning. They currently successfully sell 2D replicas from their collection, and many are interested in 3D replicas. We will provide our partners print companies with sustainable inflow of orders. And also, we're going to use traditional online promotion targeting art lovers. We have two co-founders. My name is Luba. I have 6 years experience in print industry, and I'm currently finishing my PhD in computer science. Kirill has 7 years experience in 3D graphic, programming, and project management. The Prickel project was launched in March this year in Russia, in National Research University of Information Technologies, Mechanics, and Optics. We are a graduate of the SumIT Startup School and the Ideal Machine Accelerator. And in May this year, we received our first investments from RSV Ventures partners. At this moment, we have developed the main part of the software and successfully tested our technology of raised printing. This is one of our samples. It is on display at our table. Currently, we are looking for investment to buy the equipment necessary for development and to initial entry to market. Also, we are looking to expand our contacts in the print industry and in art community. Prickel is a new technological possibility to create an art gallery in your home. Thank you.
I'm a really competitive guy. I won't even let my 11-year-old sister beat me in mini golf. It just won't happen. When I looked on the app stores to see if I can find other apps that allowed me to compete in real-life sports with someone a little closer to my age, couldn't find anything. As a result, we at Beat Your Record have created a platform that allows people to compete in sports mini games like free throws, golf shots, and horseshoes via recorded video. An individual simply logs onto our app, identifies a game they're interested in playing, records themselves competing, and then directly uploads this video to our servers. Beat Your Record is taking the real world of sports and bringing it into the virtual world. As a consequence, for the first time in human history, it's now possible to compete against thousands of other individuals in thousands of different locations in massive online sports competitions that are only now possible in the video game world. In addition, we provide two core benefits to our users. The first of which is to directly challenge their friends, irrespective of where they're located in the world, and to create a tournament all in the course of a few minutes. We also allow players to compete for real cash prizes. Now, this real cash model underlies our first revenue model, which is cash entry fees. Individuals will pay a cash entry fee for the opportunity to compete for and potentially win a much larger cash prize. From each of these entry fees, Beat Your Record will take a 20% commission, with the remaining 80% going to directly fund that prize pool. Now, under the second revenue model, Beat Your Record is pursuing relationships with corporate sponsors who will directly fund prize pools in exchange for the ability to in-app advertise to our players. The players get to play for free and potentially win a cash prize, but they have to view the in-app advertising as well as advertisements on social media. Now, Beat Your Record operates in a unique legal game of skill framework. And the 34 states that you see up here in the red permit games of skill in one form or the other. Now, what differentiates a game of skill from a game of chance is what's called the dominant factor test. And what this says is if skill predominates in the determination of an outcome, it's a game of skill. If not, it's a game of chance that you're probably more familiar with. Now, the example I always give is if I played Michael Jordan one-on-one, probably he'd win 99 out of 100 times. All right, I'm nowhere near that good. He'd win 100 out of 100 times. But if we were playing a game of craps, despite the fact that he's an addicted gambler, it'd be about 50-50. So the key takeaway here is that if you have more skill in these 34 states in red, you can make more money on our platform. Now, based on our research, Beat Your Record believes that our target demographic are 18 to 34-year-old males. We'd like to further subdivide this into two groups: college-aged males between the ages of 18 to 22, and young professionals. Now, our initial marketing efforts are going to focus on college-aged males because they have three core advantages. One, they tend to live in close proximity with one another at universities, so they're relatively easier to market to. Two, they have a lot of free time on their hands. Just look around. And then finally, they're used to competing with one another in intramural and fraternity events, and they're used to taking videos and then posting them online. Now, we're going to use a multi-pronged marketing approach to reach our target demographic. We're currently in talks with a major Facebook page that has about 10 to 12 million users a day, and which produces both sports and male-oriented content. We're also going to leverage the power of existing networks that intramural organizations and fraternities have already developed. This allows us to reach a large audience with a relatively low number of touch points and at a very low cost. We're also going to use user-generated content to organically grow out our user base. Each entry that a user produces creates a corresponding video, which can be shared on social media, and in the event that it's either funny or an extreme performance, can be highlighted on our site or sent to similar sports sites. Our challenge function also allows somebody to challenge somebody outside of our network to directly compete with them. The outcome of their competition can then be published directly on social media, where their friends can then see it and potentially participate as well in that tournament or share it with their friends as well. Now, we at Beat Your Record believe that we're ideally positioned to take advantage of the opportunity in front of us because of the strength of our team. My name is Dean Pagonis. I'm the founder and CEO of Beat Your Record. I have a background in both finance and intelligence. I'm backed by a team of 5 extraordinary individuals, all of whom have engineering or computer science backgrounds, including our CTO, Damian Stachewski, seen here rejecting his father, and our COO, Harsh Jain. Our technical team all have all previously iterated both web and mobile applications. As a result, we're able to build a beta version of our Android app within the course of 1 month. We were then able to test it with approximately 100 users over the course of the last month. And we're currently in the process of developing our iOS app with a scheduled release date of mid-October. We're currently looking for both advisors and prospective investors. Beat Your Record, where skill equals money. Thank you.
Okay, so you guys made it through all 10 presentations here today, so good job. I hope you enjoyed it. You know, if you have anything that you feel like you can contribute to these teams, whether it's a connection, you'd like to talk further with them, definitely reach out. You know, it doesn't have to be about making an investment. There's all kinds of interesting ways you can help these companies. If you'd like to help out with Startup UCLA in general, feel free to come up and talk to me. You know, we're always looking for people to get involved and support in any way you can. We also, this year, had an addition to the program. The Prickel team was joining us from St. Petersburg, Russia, through the Eureka program here at UCLA. And so that was a great addition. So thank you guys very much for joining us. It was a true pleasure to have all 10 teams involved and to work with all of you. And we're really excited about where you guys go from here. So thank you all for your hard work, and thank you all for attending today, and enjoy the reception.